We're live, Philip. Come on.
I know. I know. I can edit this out later. And now it's not working. How?
You're gonna have to do it live, Philip. Where's the script?
This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those mornings. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Charlie.
Teacher's pet.
Oh,
I brought you an apple.
Apple juice.
That's right. Lots of apples here today. All
Bad
right.
apples.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be crazy. How do you like them apples? Capes and Lunatics. 92. March to 100 starts right now.
We're classic X-Men.
We're still in reprint then.
For the record, Ben Affleck did not like those apples.
I like them apples. There's a lot of apples Ben Affleck don't like these days.
Yeah, well, he's...
You're right. He likes rye and potato-based drinks. You're right.
There you go.
She who lives in glass houses shouldn't throw stones for a hellfire.
I am not a fan
I'm
of
not
the
a
rock.
famous actor who can't get a freaking studio to sign them because I'm in and out of rehab and then blame something else for the reason why I have to retire my cow. So don't get me started, okay?
Nice. I just meant about the drink, not about anything else.
Yeah.
I have no responsibilities.
Those dogs beg to differ, Lilith.
Sure,
I
dogs.
don't have them anymore. It's been like 9
don't have
months,
dogs?
Charlie.
I don't know,
You can
Lilith.
tell him stuff like 5 times, Lil.
I assumed that... Okay, I didn't realize you could... Yeah. Okay.
That's right. I'm with Lil Hellfire and the forgetful Charlie Esser.
Definitely a
What's my
professor.
name?
Definitely a professor.
The forgetful.
The forgetful professor. Yeah. Professor Hassan Pepper.
1, 2, 3.
Anyway. Okay, so we're going to record something? Or should we start this now? Or
Sure.
are we already live?
We've
Yeah,
been
we're
live for a while.
Oh,
but
goodness.
We're going live. Yeah, that's what that
I didn't even know.
That's what that music means.
leave that in. Phil.
Oh.
I am.
We've
But
been doing this for 92 episodes, Charlie.
Yeah, well.
all right, before we get to the TV shows, because you watched Umbrella Academy and I watched Doom Patrol. I bet you
I
Lil
did too.
probably watched. But should we talk about the big news? Leto's out as Joker.
He's been out forever.
Yeah,
It's
that's what he was-
official that
It's
he's out, I
official,
guess.
yes.
Yeah, him and Ben Affleck there. Gonna make their own movie.
And Henry Cavill, like, yeah, just go. Bye. Good riddance. Burn it all to the ground, I say. Burn it all to the ground. And start over. It's fine.
Well, yeah, why not? You know, I mean, it's not going to hurt anything at this point. I mean, first off, Wonder Woman, she's unhinged in time anyway. So her movies all predate everything that's happened. So if we have like the third Wonder Woman film be...
We're disconnecting everything. That's what we're doing. That's why we're doing this whole thing. So, and I'm happy.
That doesn't
We
make
need to
any
disconnect.
sense, though.
It's
doesn't
fine.
make any sense.
It doesn't have to make
In
sense.
a world
it's what
with
the fans want finally.
They can't.
You've
They
gotta
can't.
have...
It doesn't
Yeah.
need to be connected. Like, really, in the comic books for a long time, nothing was connected, and it was fine. And
They
I'm
can't-
okay with that.
They can't. They haven't cracked that formula, Charlie. So
It's not a formula. It's just keep
It
on
is a
making good
formula.
movies.
No,
not.
it's
It's-
a formula. Everything in life is a formula. Everything in life is math, Charlie. They just have to find the right thing, and it'll come together.
Everything in life
Thank you,
is
Sheldon.
math after the fact. You don't have math that produces something, but you can look back and say, "Oh, I see how that happened." But you only see it after you can only see the universe after it's already occurred. You can't predict the future with math.
Yeah, you can.
There would be a lot more billionaires if you could.
Nobody's
Because money would
cracking
be
it. That's the point.
Money would be completely devalued if you could predict.
It is completely devalued. Buy Bitcoin, kids. Tip of the day.
On that note, I'm just saying, yeah, you can't predict the future with math. People want to believe that you have this blind faith in that, in the same way people have blind faith in astrology and palmistry and the tarot, but you can't predict things with math.
Like a true Aquarius. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
I'm on the cusp of Capricorn. A sexually adventurous freak. So
the drop that keeps on giving. Philip, get us on track. Damn it, we only have an hour.
We only have an hour. Anyway, what else? Should we jump to TV? Well, no,
we got more news.
I know.
Like stupid interview. Let's just go ahead and get all the DC crap out of the way.
Wait, what stupid interview?
That he did on whatever late night show. I don't watch that crap.
Who?
Ben
Affleck?
Yeah.
Oh, Ben Affleck.
Oh, I must have missed it. What happened?
Where he officially retired? Told that stupid story? No, I'm not.
So he's retiring from Batman, or is he retiring from acting?
Batman. He's hung up his cape. It's official.
Okay, well.
Wasn't it official before?
Yeah.
It's not official until he says so, because he's a white guy. So, you know.
I just say bring back Kilmer. That's all I have to say on that.
You shut your mustache mouth.
How many bat suits do you have to sew together?
I'm just
saying, just do another
but that's
Willow.
Your grizzled old
what
Batman.
You need to worry about. Do another Willow and just leave Val Kilmer alone.
I would love to see him come back as Mad Max. I wanted to see him do The Saint again. I actually like that film.
Yikes.
Okay. I like The Saint. He's a cool character.
You know what? Guy Pearce for Batman, if that's the way we're going. I don't care. At least he can act.
I don't know. Well, I saw some sites. It looks like they were going with the Charlie Esser bet of Rob Pattinson.
Oh, they're doing that to make Nick Jonas more palatable. I almost guarantee you at this point.
I mean,
we don't want that guy from Twilight. Nick Jonas is at least American and never kissed Kristen Stewart.
I just want them to take the kid from Gotham.
No.
I
love David Mazouz, but no.
He's like 10 feet taller than everyone else in the room, which is great.
No, he just has to work on his width.
I just want some comic book accuracy. I need some muscle and some meat. I need a grown man. Thanks.
There's my drop.
You know what? I'm sorry. I think that, first off, Batman can be wiry. I would like a wiry.
He's not a soccer
player. He's not Spider-Man.
No. That's who they should get. That last, not the current one's Tom Holland. Who was before him?
No more British people playing American superheroes.
Andrew Garfield.
No, I'm putting my freaking foot down. It's done. Embargo.
You know what though? But here's the thing, Lilith. Okay, I don't care because
I do.
Why should I care where you're from? If you're portraying a character.
More foreign immigrants taking good American jobs. I've had it.
I'm not a fancy man. Oh, did you hear Killmonger would like to play Kelvin Ellis?
Yes. He can kiss my ass too.
No. I liked him as Killmonger. I think
you know what? How about y'all work on a damn sequel to that damn movie y'all started with? What's the movie? The found footage film with him and that one dude, and I can't think of it now. Chronicles. Yes, I need Chronicles too.
Charlie Esser would like.
Oh.
So how you can fly in that movie? How about y'all work on a sequel to that? I've been waiting 10 years.
Yeah, you're gonna keep on waiting. Because not for nothing. I have nothing against Chronicle as a film. It was okay as found footage films go, but it was the first step into the found footage genre. But you can't make a sequel to a found footage film. It's like literally.
Abrams would like to have a word with you.
Well, okay. First off, have any of the Cloverfield films since Cloverfield either been in that universe or found footage?
In the multiverse, it counts.
But they're not found footage. You can only do the found footage gag once.
Oh no! Record would like to have a word with you. Thank you.
That's a direct to.
No, they're
video.
not. No, they're not.
Original
Spanish version, no, sir.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of VHS.
Yeah, you're thinking of VHS. Anyway.
What
other news do you have for me to be upset about?
On that note. What about the comic book news that I figured the two of you would have definite opinions on?
What?
Conan the Barbarian's going to be on an Avengers team.
About time. Hello.
What?
Okay. What took him so long?
I figured the minute they brought it back, I'm like, he's going to be interacting with somebody in the modern Marvel universe.
It's weird because there's another Conan in another, comic book franchise too. So I'm just like, okay.
Well, there's the Conan the Barbarian, which we reviewed on Super Connectivity. Great book. You should all be reading Conan the Barbarian. They did release Savage Sword recently. I was debating it. It looks beautiful. It is a beautiful book, and it clearly has a good story. But it's like, when you got your stack, you're like, do I need another Conan book? But I will say,
the
Conan
answer is always
Conan
yes to that. By the way, if you can afford it.
Well, yeah.
So Savage Avengers will be coming out, or as I call it, Money Grab Avengers, because it's Conan.
Avengers is a money grab. What are you talking about?
Oh, but
There's nothing wrong with a money grab.
But this
They're a business.
This one's so blatant. It's like Conan, Wolverine, because now that he's back, we need him on 20 teams again. Was it Elektra?
We already had 20 books searching for him. What do you mean?
Exactly. So now that they found them, he has to be on 20 teams again.
Well, although this is...
They're all clones. That's the plot twist. It's fine.
Well, this is an unhinged in time kind of story, which is what's great. Because first off, if anyone has ever read the really great What If Conan the Barbarian were trapped in the 20th century, this is something we've been waiting for literally 20 years, 40 years at this point, probably for me, 30 maybe. I don't know. Ever since I read that book, that is the idea of Conan on the Avengers has been something that is just such a powerful idea for me. I mean, honestly, I was really hoping they were going to do more with Red Wolf, because they did have, as we said in our talk with David Walker, does have that very Conan the Barbarian, man out of time kind of feel to it. And about how, a natural super soldier like Red Wolf or a natural super soldier like Conan really can adapt into these environments so well.
Walker on the phone.
Please do. He never called me a dumbass.
Peter David.
Yeah, well, still love him. And I don't care what he says. Crimson Bands of Satirac are the source of Cyclops' powers. Fight me, nerds.
Oh, I love a good argument. If somebody wants to argue with me, I'm always down for that.
Yes. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be great. It's all magic and time travel. Mm-hmm. And it is a little weird though that it's like, oh, let's take this one hero from the Hyborian Age and everybody else from the 20th century.
He's like he's like another Thor. Kind of.
Conan? No. Conan once fought Thor. In a What If book. And possibly not in a What If book. But yeah. Yeah, Thor fights everybody. By Crom. Yeah, I am loving Conan's revival. I'm glad Marvel has Conan back in the team, and yeah, I can't wait to see what else they do with this guy. They could save the Conan franchise from the horrible movies.
You mean that
reboot they did with what's his face from Twilight? Was it? Oh no, wait, was it Twilight? One of those young kids. It wasn't that bad, but
I'm too drunk for this.
I say get Clint Eastwood's son to do it, or Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, since he wants to be recreating Terminator scenes.
Well, there you go.
Not the one with Maria, the other one with the main.
The one with the Spanish lady. Yeah. Why not, man?
I mean, honestly,
he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger's son.
Yeah.
Kind of why he couldn't keep that hidden any longer. And I don't know, Shriver, she's a Kennedy. Maybe, I sometimes wonder if sometimes the tabloids like expose these things and the families are like, oh no, you exposed our secret. And now we Like, and now I guess we have to deal with this. You know, it's like
Our
no,
secret.
yeah, it's like oh yeah,
One of those open secret things. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Like I said, it's something that maybe that they, you know, and who's to say how many secret families Maria Shriver has? Well, it's harder for a woman to have a secret.
I was gonna say,
well, then again,
I barely believe she has those 2 kids. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Kennedy money. You can hide anything.
Yeah, but you know, it's. I'm just saying, it's that was their situation, and you know, and honestly, it's not like Arnold's like a jerk about it. He's very loving to his other son he pairs, and he, you know, it's his son, and he steps up. He's a man about it, and I don't know. I don't see the scandal aside from, you know, cheating on your wife, which, you know, again, not knowing their relationship, I don't really even know how controversial that was for their family. Yeah, I don't know if it was that it happened or that it got exposed. And that's the problem. Not the act, the publicity.
Yeah.
So
Philip, we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger's other son. Come on, get it together, sir.
All right, let's go back. All right.
Okay. Phil, are you sure you're not the one that's drunk? I'm just curious.
I'm just angry.
Anyway.
No.
Oh, did you watch the Orville upon our constant request that you ever do, Lilith?
You know, like I said, I watched that one episode where they made first contact, and I think it was a rerun the week after that, and I didn't get a chance to. It's on my DVR.
I watched it. Okay. We can discuss it on Super Connectivity.
Machlin's be crazy, man.
Wait, did that lady, what's her name, ever get it on with the one guy, the not guy? She has a crush on. Did they bone? Did they bang?
What, the doctor and the robot?
Yeah. Did they bang?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll definitely be catching up.
They're still in a couple. They're still a couple.
Yeah, they're actually. In fact, you get like that little. They're kind of like.
He's asking the whole crew about their favorite sexual position so he can please the doctor better.
Yes.
As a man should. Good for him.
Yeah. Well, it's not like the details of their relationship being too public. You know?
As a woman wouldn't.
Yes, exactly.
He's trying. Okay.
Right. So not Orville, we'll see that for Super Connectivity, but let's jump to TV. Okay. Charlie, I know you didn't see it, but Lilith, you watched the first episode of Doom Patrol?
Of course I did. Oh my God, they did the thing from the comic book with the painting, and I was really surprised that they would pay that much attention to detail given Titans. No offense. It was okay first season, but rough.
And they went more adult even than Titans. We got some nudity in this. I think the language factor was up a little, you know.
Definitely. Do you think Cyborg's gonna upgrade as the show goes on?
Who knows? He wasn't even there yet. Next episode.
It's very Smallville-esque is all that I'm saying.
I bought you know what? I bought Brendan Fraser as the redneck race car driver.
Oh, he was great.
Oh, Brendan Fraser has range, son. I love that man. And it was a shame when he disappeared from Hollywood. It was.
Yeah.
Still a better mummy movie than Tom Cruise. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, I don't think
that's an excellent trilogy.
I don't think anyone's fighting you on that. You know what I mean? Brendan Fraser's Mummy is a classic. I think
90s kids unite.
Yeah, I like, you know, I because they did the long trailer for it. I didn't even realize it had dropped yet, but they just did the long trailer. I watched that, and you do get you know, chubby Brendan Fraser, which is one of my 3 favorite Brendan Frasers.
He's older, he's accepted it, and I love it. Honestly.
Well, yeah, but he's done chubby Brendan Fraser before. Did you ever see Bedazzled?
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he does chubby. Yeah, you know, he can go fat when he has to. And maybe he has to more often than not. We all know that, you know. I mean, I love George of the Jungle, Brendan Fraser too. Don't get me wrong.
It was kind of chubby here, but I think it kind of worked for his, you know, he was like a redneck race car driver in 1988.
No. Yeah, he was fantastic, and I like that. I love the actress lady and the whole melty stuff. That's cool.
Did you see it?
No, the trailer. The trailer was long. When he says a long trailer, it was long.
Okay.
And here's what I love best about it. The stone, and both stone scientists who clearly are not just using found technology to make cyborg. Clearly, this is an actual proper cyborg built from the ground up by his super genius, super scientist parents. And I'm all about that.
Plural.
Yeah. I don't know what his actual parent status is in the comic books, but
you know what it is. At least one of them is dead. Come on. Okay. It's DC.
Well, yeah. Well, I figure at least one of them's probably going to be dead before this is done too. But we definitely see the mom, and we know the dad still exists at this point. You know, so I get the feeling the mom maybe gets blown up at some point, but we do have this idea of the super scientist family. And poor old Cyborg I just want to play the football. Like, oh, such a disappointment.
The football? Who is he? Adam Sandler?
Yeah, well.
Is that a Waterboy reference?
I caught that reference. Okay, Captain America.
Cassio from Supernatural pre-season 11. Hey, I worked the Supernatural reference in. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm just... Cassio, he's a keyboard? I don't know.
Shout out to them. They just had their 300th episode.
Oh, Supernatural.
Where Negan came back. I mean,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I was like, literally, my friend was like, dude, I think they just grabbed him from the Walking Dead universe and then sent him back to the Walking Dead universe because he had the same haircut. I was like, dude, they should just have the leather jacket and a baseball bat at that point.
Walking Dead. Anyway. That. But yeah, I mean, Doom Patrol, it seemed good. I mean,
yeah, this was a surprise because I feel like they didn't hype it up as much as they hyped Titans. I think this might end up being the Flash, where it's like, oh, it's the second show that comes along, but this is what the fans kind of cling to.
And what, at least from my perspective, what it seems to be is they are not being afraid to be comic booky.
Exactly, which was the strength of Flash seasons 1 and 2.
Exactly. Well, because it is based on a comic book, as it turns out.
Tell that to Arrow, please.
Yeah. Well, but I think this is sort of what DC is always struggling with because they have a hard and Marvel's had a hard time embracing its I mean, now they just said no. We're just gonna go in. We're gonna do antlers on Hela and everything, and bighorn hats for everybody. But even Marvel has struggled with their comic book roots over the years, and they still struggle with it. But I think if there's one thing that Talking Raccoons have taught us is that people actually like this. And what I do like about Umbrella Academy, Talking Chimpanzee.
Oh, they said I forgot. I read a review and they were like, it's like
okay. I didn't realize that was that.
Oh, Umbrella Academy. I was reading reviews and somebody said it was like X-Men meets.
Yeah, you dropped out there.
Oh.
No, you did.
Yeah, that's a very good explanation of it. Yeah, and that's that. I don't see that as a negative.
That to me, that's Wes Anderson. That's very artsy fartsy. So it's like I think it's more for people that like manga and anime, which is fine.
I guess what I'll say is the Wes Anderson vibe is much more just in the set design and the fact that it is about the difficult family structures.
Oh, okay.
Of being raised by old scientists. And it's sort of like a Doom Patrol tie-in makes it Umbrella Academy and Doom Patrol dropping at the same time seems kind of intuitive. Because it's really
fast, so it's just like I don't know, we're getting like kind of like that influx of not for X-Men by way of Wes Anderson actually sounds like that would be I would love to see Wes Anderson's take on the X-Men. You shut because your mouth, because it might happen.
Well, no, but what I'm going to say is you could get that creepy Charles Xavier. He wouldn't be afraid to make Charles Xavier creepy, but at the same time show why he is still, one of the central heroes of the Marvel universe. I mean, I think you could do it. And here's one thing I remember some writer some director who had passed some of the superhero films. He said, you have to understand, when you go into these things, it's not like you get a choice about the action. It's like most of that's already shot by the time you show up as the director. You know, most of the stuff it's already been scripted and choreographed, because they're not going to bring a guy, because, you know, you're there to push the actors in the scenes. All the action, that's going to come anyway. So, I forget what, I think he was turning down an X-Men film, but, and that might have just been sour grapes, but who knows?
Bryan Singer would like to have a word with you about that assumption. Just saying, that's not how it worked for him, but.
Why? Charlie Esther's not a teenage boy.
Oh,
yeah. I love it. Took a second. She was like, oh.
That was a me comment.
Yeah, well, you know,
it finally happened.
You know, not for nothing, Bryan Singer's career is that's not doing well right now.
We'll see in about 6-7 more years. You know, Hollywood has a short memory. I wouldn't be surprised to see Harvey Weinstein back in the spotlight in his own studio in 4 to 5 years.
I was gonna say, ask Mel Gibson.
I mean, he got reduced to doing Bieber movies and directing his own movies. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson did something a little different.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, Mel Gibson's came out as a really horrible human being, but not a sexual predator. And I think that people are far more tolerant of just the fact that an actor is a horrible human being than they are that you're actually committing a real, like, hurtful crime to people.
See Liam Neeson for updated reference.
No.
Well, you know, and again, you know what?
But watch the full interview and make your own informed decision.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll say is, a bold statement to make, and it was a stupid statement to make, but it was who he was at that moment. He says, and I realized how messed up it was that I was there. And he doesn't defend it. He's just saying, you know, dealing with tragedy can make you do stupid things. I guess it was his argument.
Can we at least applaud that a Hollywood actor had a horrible thought, but they didn't act on it like some of these people do?
Well, I mean, again, as far as I know, Mel Gibson has never clubbed anyone either, you know?
Yeah.
As far as I know, he doesn't.
Shooter tits between friends, you know?
Well, you know. Yeah, and again, that's the kind of thing where it's a horrible thing he did, but at the same time,
it's not on the level of, say, a Bryan Singer or a
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I mean, Louis C.K. did worse. You know, that's what I'll say. Is Louis C.K.
I'll just sip my tea. It's fine.
I don't know. I think
he only made people watch. So you have to.
Yeah.
You could leave. I mean, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother gray area.
I
mean, let's just move on.
Yeah, I know. Louis C.K. You know, he only, you know, he made people watch a horrible thing instead of laying hands on. You know, you have to hand it to him.
Philip.
Well, yeah.
This is not time for punny business. Philip.
I'm just saying that, like, what. I'm just saying anyone watch anything. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I agree, Charlie. Moving on to Arrowverse.
Oh, Lord.
Arrowverse. Okay.
So Arrow, controversial ending.
Pregnant?
Controversial ending. Felicity's pregnant. Yes.
I mean, is she pregnant now, or that's going to be the season cliffhanger? She's peeing on a stick.
What? You didn't watch it?
No.
Oh no. She was on the phone with the doctor because.
I know, but they also had that spray. No. I know.
Yeah, no. Well, you're saying she's hallucinating.
I feel like they left that ambiguous, but we know what we know.
Well, the spray was incapacitated them, you know, paralyzed them. So they went to the doctor.
Yeah.
They made a point of saying, yeah, we went to the doctor for all these blood tests, and the doctor's like, she's like, oh, she's on the phone. She's like, yeah, fine. And then you see, I'm what? And then they do that flash forward where they show how Black Star says, I'm Felicity Smoke's daughter.
I don't think this is real, though. I don't think those flash forwards are real. Because we have Crisis on Infinite Earths coming, so.
Well, I wonder if they're real now, but then Crisis is going to wipe it all out.
They better, because when people are losing their minds about it, and I'm just like,
that's what I'm just wondering if like they're like, oh, we could do whatever we want now because Crisis is gonna wipe out whatever.
And despite what everybody thinks, they actually did know. Obviously, they wrote the actual crossover before they started on the season, so they absolutely knew that Crisis on Infinite Earths would affect season 8.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's like, oh, they didn't. I'm like, well, no. Do you know how long it took to make that crossover? Are you freaking retarded?
I think they at least have the general idea of the next crossover, because since they were able to announce it at the end of this crossover.
Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of working towards this because I feel like Arrow's on the tail end of it. Flash is, Arrow's barely pulling in $1 million. Flash is way down. Supergirl is always in peril of being canceled. So.
Okay. Yep, they're all renewed.
On the subject of pregnancy, can we talk about like the big pregnancy news in fictional television universes?
Oh boy, what?
Stabby Babs.
Oh yes, Gotham.
It's perfect Yiddish theater, third act. I'm Blint. It's
they had to squeeze a Batgirl in there.
Twins.
Well,
or twins. Yes.
Or Talia.
It's not Talia. I just have to have this talk with Lilith. You and your twisted fan fiction. It's not going to happen.
It's Gotham, though. If it would happen anywhere, it would happen on Gotham.
But they're going for at least a Batgirl, Lilith. If not Barbara and James Jr. the second.
I think it would be James Jr. in this world, and he's the one that actually ends up being, Commissioner Gordon.
Batgirl? Oh.
No, Commissioner Gordon. And, that way he's not that old, and he doesn't obviously know that Bruce, his dad died, so he takes the mantle. Like, that would make more sense to me than Batgirl in this universe.
Yeah, and except
that would make Batman like than Commissioner Gordon.
Exactly,
it's the exact same problem, just in reverse.
Everything's backwards.
Yeah, but
it's a mirror universe, if you will.
But again, there's precedent for him being named after his father. So yeah, you still have a Commissioner James Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I would much rather. I would much rather it be Talia.
That's not something Charlie Esser would like.
It's not something Charlie Esser would like. Here's what I got to say, and it's just such a great soap operatic scene where she just walks in. He's with his ex, and it's like, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant.
I love that.
When she came back, I was just like, awkward, because they're married in real life with a baby. Awkward.
I love that whole scene where she's like, he's like, I don't have time for this, and she's like, you had time for a good time over there the other night, and Harvey's just like, what? And that's when she goes, I'm pregnant, and Lee just shoots him the dirtiest look. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, God, I wish they would have made Lee better.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. Clearly, Babs and James have had some bonding. And for James to just toss that out because, oh, hey, my dead girlfriend came back to life. It'd be like if Spuddy and the Black Cat were getting together, and then all of a sudden Gwen Stacy shows up and is like, forget you, Black Cat.
I feel like that happened in a comic book.
It probably did.
Probably.
And speaking of Black Cat, did anyone else feel like they were kind of trying to make Magpie look like Black Cat? And like referenced her, like the feather collar and all that kind of stuff as meant to be a reference to, I don't know, maybe that was just me.
It's just I don't know. There's been yeah, and Magpie. She had a couple different looks, but she's only shown up in the comics. You could probably count on one hand the amount of
time have a couple fingers left over.
Yeah, but like I said, I kind of felt there was an intention to maybe just in the writer's room to just make that joke. Like I said, like all black with a feathered collar kind of struck me as like, oh yeah, like Black Cat from DC or from Marvel, because of course Marvel made their own Catwoman, and so gotta do your references. But that was cool. Bane and Walker. That's just sad. Now that's where this is actually Bane's father kind of a storyline. That works for me.
Sounds just like Tom Hardy. King Gordon.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Like that's not what Bane looks like.
No,
Bane doesn't have a respirator.
Where's the luchador mask?
He's Cicada's father, silly. It's all connected.
No,
wait, no, wrong universe.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's like I could see, but like if you want to have a son, so I could see, for example, Walker going to prison, and then she's pregnant, and then Bane is born in prison, and for whatever reason they send her. Yeah, they send it to a little black ops site prison. You know, it all makes sense then, and that's where Bane is born, and that's why he has an obsession with Batman
and Gotham and Gordon. Yeah.
Then it all makes sense that this is actually the origin story of Bane. But I'm really hoping that one of Bruce's press contacts in the outside world is that plucky young intern, Cal Kent at 1999 at Metropolis.com. You know, Metropolis Daily Planet intern. Well, you know,
is it still canon that Lois is older than Clark? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like back in the day, she's like 7 to 10 years older than him. I'm just saying.
I think that's just the way Margot Kidder looked. I mean, she was
in the
definitely not a makeup in the comic books.
Yeah, she was always, and that's why Lois and Clark played her a little bit older too than Clark.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never imagined 7 to 10 years. I mean, I don't know. I don't read that many. I don't know everyone's birthdays in the DC universe. So
depends what story.
Drink your honey, Lilith.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And again, all right. And I know we were talking about this, Lilith. The Flash. Why are we getting like
Nora
another?
Is an idiot. She is definitely an Allen.
Why? Because she had the time travel 52
times.
52. They had to throw in that 52.
Damage that did to the timeline, and Barry is just so common. 52 times. You're not freaking out.
Nora is going to be the cause of crisis. Watch. But I'm just like, why are we getting another episode where we mostly don't get Barry again?
Okay, he's married, so I think it was his honeymoon because something happened to Katie Cassidy.
Yeah, because
she was so
they got married in December, so yeah, Grant must have been on honeymoon. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, why is it when the Legends do it, it breaks time, but when the Flash does it, no one even notice this?
Because the Legends are the redheaded stepchildren, and they can't do anything right. And, you know, they live in a time ship, so, you know.
Yeah, maybe when you're using the Speed Force, it's more natural. The way, you know, time fractures in a much more cool way.
Where is the Black Death? Where is the Time Wraiths? Like,
yeah, Time Wraiths. They showed that early seasons of the Flash are like, oh, if you go to try to change time, these
she definitely didn't know what she was doing. She couldn't even control
things.
It.
Yeah, but it's like they never show up on Legends for the most part.
Yeah, well, maybe the Time Variance Authority just killed them all, or whatever the time zone authority, whatever the time group is. They just killed all the Time Wraiths. They're like, nope, shot them with laser beams.
Well, they got rid of the time.
They're really susceptible to laser beams. What do you know?
they got rid of the time. What were their names? The Time
Lords.
Yeah, whatever. They got rid of them in the first season of Legends. So.
And now it's the Time Bureau, and it's fine.
Yeah, well, they have the Time Bureau. Yeah, exactly. The Time Bureau. They just
with an official office in Washington, D.C.
Yes,
as you do,
because they're evil. That's why Biff's in charge.
Bureaucracy is evil. I agree.
It can be, yeah.
I'm over the Flash for right now. Like, I'm excited for King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd, though.
Yep.
So is Diggle going to make an appearance in this? I forgot to check. I feel like every Argus crossover,
maybe
Lilar or Diggle. Wait, is Diggle even an Argus anymore? Is he still doing how can you be an Argus and be a deputized vigilante?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so confused.
Unless they bring that back up, and that's going to be.
I'm like, can we just get RoboCop at this point in Star
City? Are they actually deputizing?
Yeah, they're deputized.
Now? Like when Batman had a badge?
Well, Oliver. Now that everyone knows Oliver Queen's the Green Arrow, he was deputized. But yeah, now after this week, they deputized everyone else except Curtis.
Dina got outed too, so you know.
Curtis is leaving, but yeah, everyone else got deputized.
So the confetti.
Oh,
no offense. I hate to see an actor lose his job, but Mr. Terrific has never been terrific, and you know, we need to thin the team down. We really do. So I do appreciate it. But Carlos Valdez better not leave the Flash. I don't know that I would watch the next season of Flash.
That's right.
They could have gave him his happy ending with Gypsy.
Heyo.
So it was like a whole natural exit, and they didn't take it. So we're stuck with Carlos until the end of the series.
Keep vibe on the Flash, yes.
Yeah. I think, and I've only seen so many episodes of Mr. Terrific. I really think that they never made him cool enough.
Mm-mm.
So,
yeah, you can't be cool when you're Felicity's sidekick.
Yeah, like Mr. Terrific, he should be terrific.
And he was like,
the name should not be. It's like Mr. Fantastic. The name should not be ironic.
And it was, and he's supposed to be like an Olympic athlete and like one of the smartest people on the planet, and they never played that up really.
Well, they played that he had 14 PhDs, but it never seemed like he was very smart.
No.
Yeah,
okay, Felicity, I guess we'll do it your way.
That's just weird. Why would you do that? I mean, aside from the obvious.
I'm just gonna say the Arrowverse's writers' room, it has a very limited viewpoint. It feels like I feel like they don't write women very well, and they definitely don't write their POC characters very well. Looking at you, big old
nerd.
Actually, that was like speaking of racism, when all the controversy about the big gap between Rhodey and the rest of the Avengers in that Endgame trailer, I'm surprised no one started to say, well, yeah, of course they made Rhodey stand over there.
Yeah, but I thought
Falcon.
I thought Banner was standing next to him, or unless that's where the gap was at.
Well, the whole there's this big space, like, and why is there this big space in this group? And my theory, as went over in Superconnectivity, is that's where the Hulk is, because of the Banner. And that's a big reveal. So you got the Hulk standing there. Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, Falcon got snapped.
Oh, good.
So he's very lonely now.
I mean, he'll be back, obviously.
Well, obviously he will be, but I really think that Falcon and Rhodey had like a lot of off-camera stuff that they kind of bonded as two soldiers hanging out with these freaking crazy superhero people, and it's like, yeah, man, it's crazy out there.
I was having a conversation about Terrence Howard, how he really upped himself out of Marvel. You're getting paid more than the damn star of the movie. Who do you think you are? Again, another British person taking an American actor's job. Although, in this case, it was warranted. I love Don Cheadle.
Yeah, no, Don Cheadle. Is he even British? I don't know. Don Cheadle does so many different voices. I never know who he is. He could be anyone. He should play the chameleon in the new Spider-Man film.
Honestly, I love him the most in Ocean's 11 because he gets to use not his real British accent, but he gets to use a British accent.
Close, yeah.
He does. He goes all Cockney, like Dick Van Dyke.
Wait, those are so many dirty words, non-dirty words that sounded dirty. I love that sentence.
Yeah.
Is it in the butt?
Penis and lesbian.
Philip, this podcast is rated teen.
I didn't say anything, Charlie.
Okay, comic books.
All right. Yeah.
Oh wait,
we got what?
Have you been watching The Good Place, Charlie?
Yeah, it's on. It's on hiatus.
Like yeah. Oh, thank God. I was like,
the last one was Pandemonium.
Oh, okay.
If you saw the last one is Pandemonium in this season.
Okay.
That's the last one. That's the last new one they've done. Yeah. Okay. Did you get to Pandemonium yet or no?
Yes, I have.
Okay, yeah. So that was the last one they've done. Yeah, I love. Of course,
because I watched that on
Good Place.
I don't actually DVR it for whatever reason. My DVR is too full, so I watch it on Hulu.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I actually wound up watching the Orville on Hulu because I couldn't get my DVR to load. So I was like, yeah, it's good. And just went over to Hulu. Hulu's great. Owned by DC.
It is.
I got
into Future Man too, by the way. I love it.
I know. It's great. It is. For me, it was a very rough start, but like by the third episode, I'm like, okay, I'm in this. And then it just gets better from there. And that's little Haley Joel Osment. I can't believe that. With the beard. It's great.
I I was into it instantly because, like I said, this is the end. Like Seth Rogen, I'm like all here for all that kind of humor. So
yeah. So I think it's a great show. People should watch it over there on Hulu. I can't wait for season 3 now. After season 2,
a lot of good original programming now. It's not what it used to be. Proud of you, Hulu.
Yeah, well, they had to step up their game, and I do think that there's a lot that's going to be kind of the future of TV there. That
is Marvel. Is Disney taking its stakes out of Hulu? Like, I don't know what their streaming service is.
No.
Like,
Disney has 60% of Hulu.
Yeah, I know.
So
and then they have their own streaming service. I don't know. That seems weird. And like,
well, they already okay. Just like Warner actually has like 4 streaming services already,
and they're trying to combine it into one though.
No, they're not. Disney Plus theoretically is going to be a one-stop shop, but I think even as that's sort of like the big dream. But I think even as they're rolling it together, they're like, look, we got stuff that we don't necessarily want the Disney brand on. That's literally why we have Touchstone Films, because we want to make films that aren't Disney films. And quite frankly, they want to have a place that their Marvel content can go, but they also want that Marvel content to be in line with other content that's there.
Though. Like, it just seems conflict of interesty.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that term. in modern American business. Okay, I guess we're doing my show now.
Sorry.
Sounded like it. Sounded like it.
No, but here's the thing. Disney owning 60% of Hulu is an issue that may cause some downstream problems with the fact that NBC owns like 20% of Hulu. And there might be some conflict there, unless, of course, they eventually do the great Comcast Disney merger, the same way that AT&T and
by the way, if they try that.
Well, hey, they let AT&T buy Warner's. So right now, Warner's AT&T AOL Time Warner has both a content and a distribution network. And really, Comcast, by owning NBC, has a content and distribution network. And that vertical integration, that's the one thing that Disney does not have, is a distribution network.
Yeah.
Now they have all their sites. They have Hulu. They have, they're doing their Disney Plus. They've already got Disney XD app, which is a lot of fun. I got to watch the new Kim Possible movie. I think it's out now.
Let me know how that goes, because it looks atrocious.
I don't know. I think it's a little hard when you're doing that. When it's such a vibrant cartoon to translate live action. But I've been impressed by the casting. So for sure, acting, I think it's going to be okay. The action might be a little not working for me, because when you have essentially superhuman characters that now have to perform in a human level, TV level human way, it can be problematic. Especially because I'm sure they don't want to actually really do just a knockdown, drag out fight between Kim and Shigo. That's the thing. It's like you don't want to do that kind of Daredevil level hallway fights. That you are, or sorry, Black Widow level hallway first one. And I feel so bad for Happy in that where Black Widow was taking out like 3 Hydra. It's just like one guy just punching him. It's a great scene. Iron Man 2, Electric Boogaloo. You should all watch it.
Yes, Philip. Crack the whip. Let's go.
Comics. So, what? Go ahead.
And before you guys launch into your whole DC Marvel crap, I just want to recommend a book. It's called Stronghold #1. Phil Hester wrote it, and the artist was Tyler Earl Walpole. And it is a really cool deconstruction of the superhero stuff with a touch of supernatural horror. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's Devil's Due Publishing is who publishes it, and I was just really I got drawn in obviously by Phil Hester, so I was just like, okay, and it's beautifully like drawn and everything, and I was just like, okay. It's tough to probably find, but I think you should seek it out if you are interested in stuff like that. Like, I'm just so over DC and Marvel right now.
Speaking of indie comics, as I did get the chance to catch up on my Feast or Famine, or Feast or Famine, which is one of the alternate comics that I've been reading, and I really like it. I don't know if I like it as much as I like Actual Roger, but it is a good book, and it's sort of if you liked the Manhattan Project, but felt it was way too dark, which it is. This is it's that same kind of theme of an alternate universe where like the great geniuses of the world kind of got together to make their own thing, and the basic premise is that Nikola Tesla
Noise.
yeah, teams up after the tragic death of Thomas Edison. You know, they got all these like little names there, but basically plays up the Tesla Edison rivalry a bit, but then also basically has him going to after J.P. Morgan basically says, "I'm the richest man in the world. Come make your inventions for me," and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, "No, I want to use my science for humanity's benefit." And he actually makes a deal with Andrew Carnegie, who gets to be the billionaire grandfather, to help him and then a young Albert Einstein sort of build their time travel, space travel stuff. And then that's where we end up at issue 2. There's a 3rd issue left. Aliens may be invading. We don't know yet, but it's pretty exciting. And I do like Feast or Famine from Alternate Comics.
Yeah, Phil, where's your Alternate Comics review? We're waiting.
Yeah. No, I thought we were all going to talk about the one comic I'm pretty sure we all read, Wonder Twins #1.
Oh, I love it. Okay, we can talk about Wonder Twins. That's fine.
That was fun. I really wish they would not undersell Jan so much.
She's a girl, duh.
No, Zan. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I always get.
Do they really? Because I feel like it's the other way around.
Well, I mean, Janet doesn't get to use her powers as much as she should in this, but like what Zan does is he's the ice for the hockey team. I'm like, he can become a frost giant. He can become a tidal wave. He can become massive, destroying water. And maybe they just sort of imply that it's just a lack of imagination on his part. But yeah.
You mean
I got worried the first time I saw this picture when I was present to that was supposed to be me.
It is definitely something for the youths, but I like it. Coming of age tale is always cool. I mean, I think that's pretty much what all comic books are about nowadays.
I think it's like a nice it's a nice change of pace from like grim and gritty DC, because it's like much more humorous.
Well, that's Wonder Comics in general.
Yeah.
I've liked all the Wonder Comics I've read so far. Although I wish there was more explanation of what Thunderlust is. Because they really do not explain what it is that he had his first Thunderlust.
Thunderstorms get them in the mood. What can
Well, except it doesn't seem to be that it's a sexual thing. It just seems to be like it's overpowering and part of
it's
growing up on their planet.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Batman had a crush on someone once.
Oh, BG, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it was good.
So are we to take from this issue that Superman is like deathly afraid of Mxyzptlk?
Well, you should be.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he is, and
basically be crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like even if he's never caused permanent damage, that's literally only because he has chosen not to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And it really is Mr. Mxyzptlk, or Mxyzptlk, as they want to call him nowadays. He is a crazy, dangerous being who really can and would destroy the universe if it's so. It's like the Beyonder, or any of the Molecule Man. You know, it's like these characters who you really do have to be afraid of because they could destroy the entire universe if it was their whim at that moment. That the only reason that they don't is because they find us amusing. They're like the ancient gods. And so yeah, I can see why Superman should, and probably he left off Mixoplex expressly because if Mixoplex really knew how terrifying he was, that might give Mixoplex bad ideas. So yeah, but no, I did love Wonder Twins. It was a fun book. Glad I bought it, $3.99.
Can we talk about Red Hood and the Outlaws number 31, Philip? I'm very confused.
Yes, well,
like who is truly off the board? Like like they're wrapping up the Solitary storyline, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, you know, it's just a mess to me. Like this is not the Red Hood and the Outlaws I signed up for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they building a new team with? I
was thinking, like, wait, why are we making Batman Incorporated references? I mean, I love Batman Incorporated. Unless you're gonna bring back, don't tease me.
I know. I'm like, so what? They're basically building a new team with Brick and whoever Wingman is, and.
But Jason Todd was Wingman in Batman Incorporated.
It's a mystery, Lilith.
No, they need I need my classic team. That's why I initially picked up the book. I don't want to drop it, but
well, that's what I hate about modern comics is like they'll like, you know, leave you hanging on it like a plot point for like a year, and it's like, well,
yeah, I just wish that they didn't have that mandate that every 20 to 25 issues some life-changing thing has to happen.
Yeah, there's none of the be a big event every.
Yeah, it's annoying.
3 months. Oh, you mean like Infinite House of Civil Yet Secret Crisis War Invasion?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Did you read this, love?
Yeah, I did. I like that they don't take themselves so seriously anymore.
There's a big crisis, Charlie. Spider-Man and Deadpool come back. There, looks like an apocalypse is taking place.
As usual. As you can, another Wednesday.
Well, and as you can tell, because Deadpool can't break the fourth wall anymore.
Somebody could get Gwenpool on the
line. and Spider-Man reveals his identity to Deadpool.
No, that was
and his actual identity. It's not blocked out by the writers anymore.
No, because whatever's blocking the fourth wall, he's able to take his mask off, and Deadpool's like, "What?" He's like, "Something really is wrong."
The writers.
So this is what they were talking about the Deadpool fourth wall thing that we included. Phil, we're kind of freaking out about, but yeah. I like how they played with it. I do. And
I just wonder if it's
it's not permanent, obviously.
I was gonna say, as typical crises go, stuff's gonna get rewound. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I was worried about it, but now I thought it was pretty cool how they played with it.
Unless it's tied to War of the Realms, that's our new big crossover.
Going through everything.
So over it.
Oh, but they give love to our friend Kelly Thompson, Mr. and Mrs. X number 8.
Of course.
I just love how like they're not part of like that stuff that the Age of X-Man stuff. She kind of shunted them off to the Mojoverse.
She shipped them off to space. She knew it was coming.
We'll stick these two in the Mojoverse for a while. That'll be fun.
Smart.
Okay. Can I talk about Justice League Dark?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Knock yourself out. You're the only one, so knock yourself out.
It's a good book, dang it. You guys should read it. Everyone should read Justice League Dark. It is a great team, and I love Man-Bat. There's been all of this conspiracy. Is Man-Bat going to betray them? And last issue, he was like, because the last issue was sort of like an anthology horror tale, because he's just going through all the horrifying things that they've recently been through. And you see that basically the other kind are secretly manipulating him, yada, yada, yada. Except, and you see him like going here, Zatanna and Wonder Woman just basically breaks, invoking dark magics to get to Felix Faust and try to get his brain working because the other kind of wiped his brain and all this kind of stuff. Great stuff. We go to the it's not the bar with no doors. I forget what they call it.
With no name? Or?
No.
Oh, in DC, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the DC where all the magic users go. Midnight. Midnight is the place where Papa Midnight sort of has a club, but Bobo's bar, Detective Chimp, that everyone is like sort of at because the bar expands to hold its patrons. You get the other kind are attacking. They decide to take. They're going to evacuate everyone to a distant magic realm. Meanwhile, as we've been saying, Man-Bat has been sort of studying magic because he wants to understand it as a scientist. And then he actually frees Dr. Fate from the vase. The old Dr. Not the old Dr. Fate, but the latest Dr. Fate. Because, of course, in this storyline, the Helm of Destiny, I forget the characters, the elder god's name that runs it, basically has rejected the Dr. Fates because he's actually the other kind is to destroy magic kind of concept. And I love this because, the whole time that you were thinking that that Man-Bat was betraying him, he was actually just studying magic, freed him, and he actually says, "Man, that was pretty impressive for, that spell would have been impressive for me when I had the helm." And Bat basically says, "Well, you have to successfully turn yourself into a Man-Bat." And I love the idea that basically, like, yes, it's, magic is just science we don't understand, and I'm a scientist, so I'm going to understand this science. And he really, everything works great in this. It's a great story, and we get the Dial H for Hero back up, another great tale coming from Wonder Comics soon. So it's like your little preview for it. I'm excited about Dial H for Hero too, by the way. Although I just find it funny that it's like all these items that like a child of today would have not really understood what it is. Like, how does he even know that's what a phone looks like?
From old movies, silly. Kids today love old movies.
They actually explain that he knows what a phone booth is because he had a poster of Superman stepping out of a phone booth hanging up in his dorm room. Yes.
Obscure media, yes.
Yeah, so I am liking Dial H for Hero. And we get in the first issue, Monster Truck. Who is he? The truck that walks like a man. I can't wait for that. So that was good. But Justice League Dark is my pick of the week, and that's like, as always, it's a good week. You got your Winter Soldiers, your Avengers, No Road Home.
Oh, we'll get there on Super Connectivity.
I say Savage Sword of Conan was the best Marvel book.
Ooh.
Oh, you did read that?
Yeah, I did. The artwork is fantastic. I love Conan. Like, you don't understand. Like, this is like everything that you want, and I hope this takes off. I think more people should be reading Conan. I don't know, like I said, I'm just kind of over the whole X-Men and like Batmans and things like that. A return to something different.
Are you reading the Conan the Barbarians too?
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, we only
like those.
It's almost time to go, but Lilith, are you reading Batman Who Laughs?
I am, and issue 3 has definitely been the best one so far.
Is this like regular continuity? Is this supposed to be regular continuity?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say
people just loved it so much from Metal that they had to have its own thing. And Metal, upon further review, I mean, as long as you're not waiting like week to week or month to month for the book, like as a trade, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's better.
The waiting
it's better as a binge read. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just Batman going to James Gordon Jr. for help, thinking like a psychopath, and then hey, if I can't beat the Batman Who Laughs, I guess I'll join him, and kind of turns himself into another Batman Who Laughs.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. I thought it would be worse than what it is. So it's past my surpassed my expectations. So that's good, but still unnecessary.
Well, there you go.
It's a total cash grab.
So basically, it's good because you had such low expectations. So because you had I went in with low expectations, and they exceeded them.
Hey, sometimes they don't even meet them. So you know.
And what's up with the Grim? And what's up with the Grim Knight? It's basically a Batman like cross with the Punisher,
which we've had before.
Yeah.
They're like, we want Amalgam Comics back too. Damn it! Take a hint, Marvel.
Oh,
well, Marvel
special on
Marvel
that.
did their own amalgams recently, so they know the passion is out there.
Warps.
Yeah.
What? Some celebrity said they wanted it. I forget. That was because I don't trust comic book resources. So shots fired. I guess I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Nerd. But I forget whoever said it. I was like, sounds right, but I still don't trust you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing: the rights on Amalgam Universes is just, you know.
Oh yeah,
it is a nightmare.
At this point, you're gonna go through Disney and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And,
yes, AT&T, AOL, Time Warner.
I miss the simpler times. I do.
When our comic companies were almost bankrupt, but they were having fun.
Yeah, well, you know. Now they're rich.
And stubborn, as you do.
Yeah,
as you do.
Well, you know, it's got to protect your intellectual property. And honestly, the amalgams were never going to do much because even then they said this is a real rights issue. Because even though they could work together, they didn't like each other.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah, begrudgingly. Yeah, you know, it's kind of, you know, I think amalgam was one of those things where like all the artists kind of got together and they kind of like made their bosses do it. Come on, it'll be great. We'll do it. It's like, oh God,
we'll push some more units. Come on.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like, you know, it's like when you're dealing with your kids and it's like, yeah, you know.
All right, 10 more minutes of Xbox. That's it. Then you're going to bed.
Yeah.
All right, our time is up.
Okay.
All right.
No more Xbox.
So, all right, to hear more conversations of comics, Charlie and us are Super Connectivity on YouTube in a couple minutes and on the podcast in like 2 days. So, all right, let's get out of here. Lil Hellfire, where can people find you sleeping away?
If you nerds want to fight me or got a good hangover recipe, you can find me at Lil Hellfire on Twitter. You can find me at Lil Hellfire 86 over on the gram. And if you want to talk superheroes, especially Smallville and Superman, you can find me at Save Me Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and/or Instagram.
Charlie Esser.
Oh, well, you can write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mas and pas once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters. All one word, by the way. Follow me on the Twitters. As I live tweet, Miracle Workers, hello, 10:30 on TBS. A great show with a bearded Harry Potter.
What? I'm in it for Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yeah. And I gotta know, is that Steve Buscemi's real hair?
We never see Steve Buscemi's real hair. That's the joke.
No, it is great. And Steve Buscemi, it seems like a god that would have created this universe. But you can watch that. And yeah, actually, the actual producers liked my comments on this, liked my tweets. I think I was one of the 4 people tweeting. So, but yeah, someone mentioned us. They were so excited. Follow me on the tweets if you'd like to like those tweets at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. With the 2 E's in the middle for quality.
For quality.
Bing.
Okay. Chance. All right.
I'm sorry, man. Sometimes we're rushing.
It's all Lilith's plan. Anyway, for another week, inching closer to 100, we have been the Capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics. 92 episodes. Come on.
People expect a certain low bar from us.
Tackling like a man over there. And we exceeded it.
People expect a 2. We give them at least a 5. Come on.
At least.
Well, let's expect more quality, I think, than we're capable of.
Until then.
I had really, really way too high